For decades, this company built its reputation on emotion, powerful names, loyal fans, vehicles that meant something beyond transportation. But heading into 2026, something has shifted, and a lot of people are starting to feel uneasy about it. Behind the headlines and launch events, a few decisions are raising uncomfortable questions about direction, priorities, and long-term ownership reality. Are these moves about building the future, or about gambling with the very identity that made these brands iconic? And more importantly, what do these choices mean for buyers who plan to live with these vehicles, insure them, repair them, and eventually sell them? 4 upcoming models are now at the center of that debate. Some see progress, others see a breaking point. And once you understand why these vehicles triggered such strong reactions, it becomes clear that this isn't just about cars anymore. It's about how the rules of ownership are being rewritten. Number 4. Ram Rampage. This one surprises people at first. On paper, it looks like a smart, overdue move. Compact trucks are exploding in popularity, and Ram has been completely absent from that space in North America. Bringing the Rampage over feels logical, even inevitable. Buyers trust this idea because the formula already works: unibody construction, manageable size, good fuel economy, and just enough utility for weekend projects. That's exactly why trucks like the Ford Maverick took off. For many owners, this segment isn't about image, it's about keeping costs low while gaining flexibility. This is where the problem starts to surface. Early pricing estimates place the Rampage above $30,000. That immediately shifts the math. The Maverick built its success by staying comfortably under that line, and insurers, lenders, and buyers all treat that price bracket very differently. Higher entry pricing means higher monthly payments, higher insurance premiums, and less tolerance for compromises. Industry sales data consistently shows that compact truck buyers are extremely price-sensitive. They're not upsizing from luxury vehicles, they're downsizing from older pickups or crossovers. Asking them to spend several thousand more for similar capability introduces friction this segment doesn't forgive easily. Looking ahead to 2026, affordability pressure only gets worse. Interest rates remain elevated, repair costs continue climbing, and value-focused buyers are becoming more cautious, not less. That makes the Rampage a risky bet. And if this feels uncomfortable, the next model shows what happens when pricing tension meets brand identity head-on. Number 3. Ram Dakota. This one feels familiar in a way that immediately pulls people in. For many truck fans, the Dakota isn't just a nameplate, it's a memory. A mid-sized truck that once offered real power, real character, and even V8 performance in a segment that rarely allowed it. So when its return was announced, expectations ran high. Buyers trust the Dakota name because it used to stand for something distinct. It wasn't trying to be the cheapest or the most extreme, it sat comfortably in the middle, offering muscle where rivals played it safe. That legacy still carries weight, especially among longtime Ram owners who want something smaller than a full-size pickup without giving up capability. The concern appears when you look at how the new Dakota is being built. Reports suggest it will share much of its foundation with the Jeep Gladiator. From an engineering standpoint, that makes sense. From a buyer's perspective, it complicates things. The Gladiator already starts near $40,000, and insurance data shows vehicles in that price range face noticeably higher premiums and repair costs. If the Dakota lands in the same bracket, it stops feeling like a practical mid-size option and starts competing with its own sibling. Industry observers also point out that badge-engineered trucks struggle when prices overlap too closely. When capability, powertrains, and hardware feel nearly identical, buyers begin asking why they should pay the same money twice for a different grille. Looking ahead, mid-sized truck buyers are becoming more selective, not more nostalgic. Rising ownership costs mean emotional appeal alone won't close the deal. And just when this debate feels intense, the next vehicle raises even bigger questions about where Ram is headed. Number 2. Jeep Cherokee. This one shocks people because the name carries so much weight before you even see the vehicle. For decades, Cherokee meant durability, simplicity, and a kind of quiet confidence that didn't need to explain itself. That history is exactly why the 2026 version has triggered such a strong reaction. Buyers trust the Cherokee badge because it was once a shortcut to a specific promise: real four-wheel drive, mechanical honesty, a vehicle that felt prepared for bad roads without pretending to be something else. That reputation still lives in the minds of longtime owners, even if the market has shifted. The problem shows up when you look at what this new Cherokee actually is. The design abandons the boxy utilitarian shape entirely, replacing it with smooth crossover proportions that blend into traffic. Mechanically, the shift is even bigger. Traditional four-wheel drive and a low-range transfer case are gone. In their place is an all-wheel drive system tuned for efficiency, not terrain. From an insurance and ownership standpoint, this matters. All-wheel drive systems rely more heavily on sensors, electronic clutches, and calibration. Repairs tend to be more frequent and more expensive than older mechanical setups. Industry data already shows hybrid crossovers carrying higher claim severity due to battery placement and underbody components. As labor and parts costs rise heading into 2026, those risks grow. At a starting price approaching the high 30s, buyers aren't just paying for transportation, they're paying for expectations. And when expectations and reality drift too far apart, loyalty starts to crack, especially when the next model takes that disconnect even further. Number 1. Next Generation Dodge Durango. This is the one that cuts deepest because it feels personal to the people who kept this vehicle alive for years. The current Durango survived precisely because it refused to follow trends. While rivals softened into anonymous family crossovers, the Durango leaned into attitude, sound, and presence. Buyers trusted it because it offered something no one else did: real V8 power in a 3-row SUV, aggressive proportions, a vehicle that didn't apologize for being loud, heavy, and unapologetically old school. For many owners, the Durango wasn't just transportation, it was the last holdout in a segment that abandoned personality. That's why the 2026 redesign has triggered so much backlash. Early design direction points towards smoother lines, cleaner surfaces, and a more premium, restrained appearance. From a business standpoint, this makes sense. Upscale styling sells better to a broader audience. But for loyalists, it feels like the Durango is being reshaped to fit a mold it was never meant to occupy. The real controversy, though, sits under the hood. Reports indicate a strong pivot towards smaller hybridized engines with full electrification on the table for certain trims. From an industry perspective, this aligns with emissions targets and long-term cost control. From an ownership perspective, it changes everything. Hybrid and electric powertrains introduce higher repair severity, more complex cooling systems, and long-term uncertainty around battery replacement costs. Insurers already price these risks in. As labor costs rise and V8s disappear, the Durango isn't just losing an engine option, it's losing the reason many people chose it in the first place. And when a vehicle's identity disappears, it doesn't matter how advanced the replacement is. Buyers feel it immediately.